Come on, what notifications? Come on. One's in here. What's going on? New Mexico citizen. Here, what's going on, guys? An historic day at the Criminal Courts building here in Cook County, Chicago. Victims of John Burge, who was a commander of the detectives who got there was torture that went on within the Cook County Department, within the Chicago Police Department at Area 2. Area 2 is where the detectives are out of, and a man spent 29 years in prison. He's been out for 8 months. Today he went in front of the court to try to get his certificate of innocence. So he had to prove, beyond a preponderance of the evidence, 51% that he did not commit this crime 29 years ago. So how do you prove that you did not do something 29 years ago? I don't know what I did 5 days ago. So everybody was on the edge of their seats, because obviously it means a lot whether this conviction goes through or not, right? If you get found innocent, then you have a lot of civil things you can do. He was just let out of jail, but he wasn't found innocent. The judge gave him a certificate of innocence today. He's holding a press conference inside there. I did an interview with him. I'm still putting it together. If you want to go onto my channel, go look for Some Monsters Are Real. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna show you guys what it is. They're probably gonna kick me out, but we cool. So, if you look right here, this is James giving his interview. Both those gentlemen are victims of John Burge. The gentleman with the bald head and the gentleman with the glasses. His eyes are damaged from 29 years of artificial sunlight. His retinas and his corneas, he cannot stand real sunlight, so he has to have the glasses on. But both those gentlemen, the man who got the certificate was the gentleman with the glasses on. He got a certificate of innocence. He spent 29 years in prison. The other gentleman with the bald head who's hugging, he also was convicted for 4 homicides and an arson of a building on the south side of Chicago. James was convicted of a double homicide on the south side of Chicago in the Inglewood neighborhood. It was one of the most thrilling, the judge was going back and forth, but he would not say what his verdict was. He wasn't saying what he was actually gonna agree on, because he has to say that I believe by a preponderance of the evidence, 51% of the evidence, that you did not commit that crime. And it was like a movie. He talked for like 5 minutes, and I'm trying to gain an understanding of which way is he going to go. And then it sounds like he's not going to give it to him. Then it sounds like he is going to give it to him. And it sounds like he's not going to give it to him. And it sounds like, look right there. There's if you see right there, they're showing a picture that they drew in court. There's another trial going on there that's obviously famous in the nation. That's a court rendering, artist rendering. But the judge kept on going back and forth, whether they're going to give James his innocence or not, back and forth. And finally, the judge says, okay, I believe that you are not guilty of this crime 29 years ago. I believe you're not guilty. And I jumped up. I was the first one. I just started clapping, dude. He broke down at the table. He broke down at the table. So what that group is right there, that's an innocence group. There's 2 detectives. There's a Detective John Burge and there's a Detective Guevara. Google Detective John Burge and Google Detective Guevara. Those are 2 corrupt Chicago detectives. This guy's showing this to this wasn't this case. This was another case. This is just a Cook County Courts building, so obviously there's a lot of high-profile cases. But this man got his certificate of innocence after 29 years in prison. And he's doing his interviews right there with the different news stations. And he's surrounded by an innocence group that is, a lot of these people have family members that are in prison that they're still trying to get out. James and Mark the two gentlemen on the left there, they got out. Both of them are. Mark served 22 years in prison. James served 29 years in prison. But James just got a certificate of. Man, that was heart pounding. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Man, I couldn't breathe because the judge was going like, this is to decide whether if he doesn't get that certificate of innocence, then he's still considered guilty on the record. Not only that, James Gibson, the man with the sunglasses right there, he's the first person to prove torture by a law enforcement agency in the nation. So his case is case law. Just like Terry versus Ohio is case law, it set precedent for the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. The People versus Gibson set precedent for torture by a law enforcement agency. It's used by every other person that wants to claim torture all over the nation. They cite Gibson, the People versus Gibson. His case is case law. Just like Roe versus Wade is case law for the rights of a woman. Yeah. I talked to the superintendent. You can hear him. No. I'm disorderly product news. I'm disorderly product news. I talked to the superintendent.
Why are you in Western IDs?
I'm not. I don't have to show you an ID. I'm in a.
You're in the building recording. You do.
No, I'm in a. I'm not beyond the security point. I talked to the superintendent.
What superintendent?
Superintendent Giulio.
There ain't no superintendent Giulio over here.
Okay. What? You really? You sure about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, what's that say? What's that say?
That's a card. Don't nobody. That don't mean nothing.
What's that say? What do you mean that don't mean nothing to you? Who is that? That don't. So somebody's giving out fake cards. Somebody's. We're
not about to talk about it.
So wait, a superintendent's pretending making up its name. He's making up a name. So what you're saying that's not him. You said there's no such person here. So you're telling me this person made up a name?
Put that card back in your wallet.
Well, so should we should go arrest this guy who's pretending to be the superintendent of this building?
You obviously don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Go back in there. Listen, leave me alone. I'm not bothering you at all. I'm not bothering you at all. What bother am I to you?
Step out of the building.
You're being live streamed. Don't touch my camera. Do not touch my camera.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See, you can't do one for losing right there. Call. What's your name? Warren, what's your star number? What's your star number, Warren? Warren, what's your star number? You're not required to identify yourself when a civilian asks you what's your name?
Sure. 10370.
10370, Warren. Fucking, oh, man. What a little... I literally have the superintendent's card on me. I have the superintendent's card on me. The guy that's in... There. Look at that. That's the superintendent. Call him and tell him about how Warren treated me. Gee, and Julio was very, very nice. I'm like, dude, can I get a last second press pass? And he's like, no, I cannot get you a last second press pass to go past the boundaries because you're gonna have to talk with. But he was really cool about it. This guy was just being a jerk. Yeah, but he's coming back in. He's coming back in, dude. Fuck. James is coming out here now. He's just mad because he got punked in front of all these people because the court building is, it's mad packed right now. It's unbelievably packed, and they have some kind of like tourist group from China like looking in here. They're all like 30 people. Are you guys? Is there a certain group? No, I'm not putting you on camera. But is there a certain like group you guys are together with? Yeah. Like, what are you guys?
Also Chinatown. You know the
Oh, you're from Chinatown. Oh, because I seen a whole bunch of people, and I thought, and you guys, were you on jury duty, or are you just taking a tour of the building? Oh, you don't tell me. You don't tell me. I just thought I thought you guys were from actual. Okay, China. Yeah, you don't tell me why you're here. But I hope whatever your case was, I hope it went well. So they're from Chinatown. They're probably from a high-profile case in Chinatown because there was like 40 of them all together, and they were being led around by a sheriff. So there you go. But I'm gonna wait for James, dude. So anyways, so what I'm putting a case together. Look, I got the hat on too. But how can it be? I got a camera and a hat. He asked me for my press credentials. There are no press credentials. What government gives out press credentials? There's no such thing. You know who makes press credentials? Kinko's. That's who make press credentials. There's no government agency that hands out press credentials. Press credentials are made by Kinko's.
There might be an officer in the body.
I'm going back in there, dude. So that's James right there. He's talking to one of the reporters. And that's the group, that's an innocence group who are trying to get their family members out of prison. Yeah, oh, there's nothing compared. Like, half the cameras left. Half the cameras left. Yeah, well, you got to wait till you see. He's going to come out here. James will come out here and talk to us. You got to see the actual. He said, go?
You say you could go either in there or outside, but not here, you said.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I talked to the superintendent, but the superintendent told me he said he tried, but his last minute I couldn't get in. So I mean, officer, can I talk to you for that? I talked to Superintendent and Julio. He said at the last second he would have done it for me, but there's just so much going on today that he couldn't actually get this gentleman here, right here. So I'm not trying to go past the security point. I'm not trying to go past the security point. But I'm just trying to videotape him right here. I'm not even trying to get in there. He said he would have done it for me, and he gave me. But he said there's so much going on today that it wouldn't be practical. So I'm not trying to go past the security point. I'm just staying right here.
Yeah, you know, the cameras didn't want you to get inside the lobby here.
Can I go inside there?
You know what? You're not part of the news or anything.
Yeah, I am, and I'm totally part of the news. Yeah, I am. Can I go?
Do you have like a?
No, I mean I'm a sole proprietorship.
Just go through the.
No, it's all right. I mean, he's coming out now. I mean, I'll stand right next to you. I won't leave your side.
No, I understand, but the cameras can't be.
So, I mean, where did they went and obviously got, I mean, I got the phone number of the gentleman I should have called, but they said it was just says last minute. I couldn't do it. Yeah. So, I mean, he's coming out in a second now. So, can I just stand right here? All right. All right. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
there's no way I'm standing right.
I understand, but no.
Are you just, all right. So I could stand back over there? I'll stand back up behind the camera. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a high secure building, I get it. I'm gonna stand back over here. So what I did, I tried to get a last minute, I tried to get a last minute media credential, and they were gonna give it to me, but there were just so many people here. I mean, it was like a 20-minute wait just to get inside. Like it was packed. Like there's nothing compared to the cameras. There was 20 more cameramen there. Like they left. So another person that was here was Jackie Wilson. Look up Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson is one of the two of the Wilson brothers. They're the ones that broke open the John Burge case. They got electrodes, alligator clips attached to them. And John Burge was a military police officer who tortured the Viet Cong. And they won't say that on record, but he did. And he had a little electrical box that cranked, and it had alligator clips, like those clips that pinch. You clip them open and they clip on an alligator clip with the tension, and he would clip them onto victims' ears, fingers, and he would crank the box, which gave out between 90 and 100 volts of electricity. and they would obviously be electrocuted. So over 200 people were proven to be tortured by John Burge and the Midnight Crew. That's what the name of his gang were. They were called. I'll do the whole documentary, give it the right to tell you what's going on. But basically, there's things called burner cases. Burner cases are cases that directly affect City Hall. So City Hall, the mayor at the time, which is Jane Byrne, would call, and this is all documented. It's not that it's not documented, it's all documented. The mayor would call John Burge and somebody's got to, we had to find somebody guilty of this. It just can't go unchecked because it reflects badly on, the politicians. So if you want to read the article, The House of Screams. The House of Screams by the Chicago Reader. It was printed in 1990. The House of Screams, that shows you that broke open the torture case. And watch End of the Nightstick. End of the Nightstick is a documentary made by PBS, which was made in 1990, which showed the process in which, because the city of Chicago wasn't doing anything, they couldn't get no rhythm from them. The state wasn't doing anything. The United States government wasn't doing anything. It wasn't until Amnesty International in London, based in London, Amnesty International, based in London, came and paid attention to this, that it actually got any kind of coverage. And the police were actually supporting John Burge, and John Burge ended up going away. He spent time in prison. But on federal charges of lying under oath. So there's James. He got a certificate of. He spent 29 years, 7 months, and I believe 4 days in prison. I did an interview with him, and when I put it together, I got to put up this whole story. He just got a certificate of innocence today. It was a preponderance of the evidence that he had to that he had to prove that he did not do something 29 years ago. How do you do that? So that it was like a cliffhanger. I didn't know what the judge was going to say. So the judge is going this way, and the judge is going that way. And this is his lawyer right here. He's doing an interview. That's his judge right there. So it's basically his lawyer asking him questions, trying to prove that he did not do something 29 years ago. I'm sorry, he spent 29 years in jail. I think it was 30 years ago now that the actual crime happened. It was in December 22nd, 1989. Yeah, the fraternal order police are just when the fraternal order police, the fraternal order police do, but you can't trust anything the fraternal order police say. They're just a group that's trying to get their point across, right? So they're never going to be honest about an issue. They're always going to, but that's what unions do. They push for that's the point of a union.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, buddy?
Sergeant Kowalski.
Okay, so I talked to.
Real quick, can I speak? There's no filming inside the building.
Okay,
here.
okay.
The only way you can do it, you got to be part of the media.
Yeah, I tried to do a request at the last minute. Okay. Yeah, I tried to. They said because it's such a busy day, they weren't going to be able to do the request at the last minute. So I did try to go through the proper channel.
Okay. Well,
I understand. I don't want to cause some problems. Yeah, I'm not in the. I mean, the last thing I want to do is me get arrested, in front of all these people. I mean, it's James's day. Like the last thing, because then they're gonna go buck, and then that's gonna ruin the whole day. But when the judge said, he was going back and forth. He was vacillating back and forth. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, because it all depends on whether if the judge says, okay, now this is a preponderance of the evidence. He's already proven because once they found torture, they got a confession. They threw the confession out. Now, the main witness, who's also the main suspect in the case initially, had died within that 30-year period, and nobody else wanted to cooperate after 30 years. They're calling you up, you're in Oklahoma now, come back and testify. No thanks. And plus, James's stance that it was coercion. They were coerced to say what they said. So they didn't want to say it in 1999, 1990. They definitely don't want to say it in 2020. So, it was James' position that they were not telling the truth all along. So the main suspect, ended up being the eyewitness account. So the first main suspect, the guy that they originally thought did it, ended up being the main witness in his trial, and he got convicted. His trial lasted 7 hours. He was put inside an interrogation room for 96 hours. He went to the bathroom in the corner. He didn't eat for 96 hours. An interrogation room. Everybody's seen the first 48. They know how big an interrogation room is. But Jackie Wilson was in there too. Jackie Wilson's. Let me see some of your guys. What are you guys saying here? Let's see. I just rubbed you, Popeye. Enjoying your videos from Greece. My man from Greece. Viewing from Leeds, England. Here we are at the Cook County Courts building. This is where all the big criminal courts. This is a criminal courts building in Cook County, Chicago. Al Capone's been here. And right down the street is the Lynx, the largest single-site jail in the nation. Over 10,000 inmates. Right here is Cook County Jail. If you can see, Al Capone, John Wayne Gacy, all kinds of notorious men have spent time in this jail. It's the largest single-site jail in the nation. And then there's they ran down on this guy for some reason. They're going the wrong way down California. So they ran down. Those are Chicago police, but the Cook County sheriffs are the ones that are in charge of this building. What's up, Joe Cool? Hey, Joe, how did that thing go last night with the Supreme Court justices of Illinois? Speedway, Indiana, watching. What's up, Speedway, Indiana? The Marble House of Pain. I don't know what that is. Oh, the Marble House. That's Hotel California over there. They call it the Hotel California. Nobody wants to spend time in a Hotel California. Literally hell on earth. If think about that. If Al Capone spent time in there, do you think it's updated? Do you think the tax money is going to that to refurbish it? It snows in the shower, I heard. You're taking a shower and it's snowing in there at the same time because there's holes in the walls and the roof. No, I was in the lobby of the courthouse, and if you're gonna, you go watch back to live. Me and the officer got into it. The sheriff got into it, and then another sheriff came over and said, whatever. But I can't take away from this guy's day. He was spent 29 years in jail. I can't sit in there and make a big commotion, you know. I've talked to him enough that I consider him a friend. The other people I consider friends. So, it's their day. It's not for me to go in there. The judges didn't like our cameras after saying we need more cameras in court. Oh, so wait. The judges didn't like your cameras? So wait. So how does it work in Illinois? Because John was saying that they elected the justices in the Supreme Court of Illinois. Are they elected? Because on the federal level, they're appointed. So they're elected. So these are people that are running for office, and they started bitching about the cameras. They should be happy that somebody's giving them press coverage. Oh, they were already elected. Okay. Oh, so that's why, because they weren't trying to get in office. They were already in office. That's why they're. And trust me, if they weren't in office, they'd want those cameras all on them. So I was on the edge of my seat, and the judge was going back and forth. It was like that. I don't know who's been alive for like the OJ trial, when everybody was just waiting on that for what they were saying, and the judge, he was like, I'm like, okay, he's gonna rule for him, and then it's like he was drawing it out just to draw it out, and I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat, and then there's other people in the court that are just going to court for some, other criminal case, whether it be like an armed robbery or something as small as driving on a revoked, or DUI. They might be there for that. So they're talking. This guy's going, he's been in prison for 29 years. He's been out 8 months. And his case is case law. So it's one of the most, this decision right here is probably one of the most defining legal decisions in the nation. And there was other people talking. I was trying to get them for them to be quiet. But then the judge said, okay, I find through a preponderance of the evidence, which is 51%, that's what he needs for a certificate of innocence. He already proved beyond a reasonable doubt that they can't keep him in jail. But he had to prove with the preponderance of the evidence, 51%, that he's innocent of the crime. And the judge sided with him. And I jumped up and started cheering. And then he started cheering. James broke down, started crying. I mean, we gotta wait till he comes out. Hit that like button, guys. Smash that like button. There's channel 32. He's gonna bring his stuff right in there. I'm just gonna walk in behind channel 32. If this was a regular day, I promise you I would have walked in right behind channel 32 and just act like I was with him. But I can't screw up James' day. So he's still in there giving I want to smash that like button. What's up, Brian? Thank you, High Impact. What's up, High Impact Vlogs? High Impact Vlogs in the building. Brian, what's going on? So, this is an amazing day. Again, James Gibson, the people versus James Gibson. His case is case law. He's the first person on the appellate level to prove torture by a law enforcement agency. The first person in the country to prove torture by a law enforcement agency. His case is case law. He is the Terry in Terry versus Ohio for torture. The people versus Gibson is the case. He proved it on the appellate level. He's the first person in the country to prove it on the record. Look up the article by the Chicago Reader, The House of Screams. And I've interviewed two of John Burge's torture victims. There was another torture victim who was in here today, Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson and his brother were the people that broke the case open. They didn't break the case open. I shouldn't say that. They were the people that they found the burn marks on their ears, and they found the burn marks on Jackie's brother, who was at one time on death row. I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on with that case. I don't want to say if they're innocent or I don't know. But his brother definitely was in street clothes today for that case, and that was for the murder of 2 Chicago police officers. But I do not know anything about that case, so I'm not going to make any kind of comment about it.
Right. Yep. We moved down 76th Street.
Yeah, I mean, everybody and their mother was at the criminal courts building today. It took 20 minutes to get in. It took 20 minutes to get in the building. Every single media outlet in the country was here. So it wasn't them. It wasn't, I mean, they were waiting for James. So there was about, I'd say 12 cameras there when James got out, but about 15 cameras had left. It was packed. And I talked to the superintendent, and the superintendent was really, really cool. He's like, dude, I would do it if it wasn't today. If it wasn't, I'm like, I thought the press conference was going to be outside. If it wasn't, I would have called and got a media credential. Because he's asked, well, do you have a media credential? I'm like, I'm a sole proprietorship. There's no company that gives, there is no government department that gives media credentials. There's no, you don't go to the Secretary of State. You don't go to the Department of Defense. You don't go to, you don't go to OSHA. There's nobody that gives media credentials. You know who makes media credentials? Kinko's. Kinko's makes media credentials. Now, there may be the Grammys, that a specific event may give media credentials, or if there's a place where there's always press conferences, they may give media credentials. They see the same people over and over and over, but there's nowhere for a citizen to go to get media credentials, right? There's only one occupation that the Constitution guarantees you the right to have, and that's the press. That's the only occupation that the Constitution affords you the right to have, and that's the press. So when they ask for media credentials, I say there is no such thing as me. I could go to Kinko's, and I guess I should just go to Kinko's, get one made, so it looks more official, and wear it around my neck, because honestly, that's all it is. And I was thinking about doing that. The super told them to eject you. They all double talk and lie. No, yeah, no. I honestly, he didn't even. He was like, there's no superintendent in Julio. I'm like, really? Because I got his business card right here. But I didn't go past the security point. I was just in the lobby, and they must have saw me on the camera, and they radioed over like, why has he got his camera right there? Well, I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's not. It's not fake. There is. I mean, if you work at ABC7 makes a media credential for you. The company makes a media credential for you, so it's not like there's a fake strip or anything. That's the media credential. Whatever I make is my media credential. So hit that like button, guys. Historic day here at the Cook County Courts building. Let's go down here and see if let's do some regular auditing. Let's go down here and have some fun. See what the Johnny 5-0's up there. So yeah, if you want to know what's going on, watch there's an intro on my channel. It says some monsters are real. That's my intro into the John Burge case. I've done. There's actually a torture center in Inglewood, in Chicago, that was built because that was part of the reparations they had to pay to the city of Chicago. There was 5 elements, $5.5 million settlement. They had to give them a center, free employment, or free what's it called? Education at there's 5 city colleges in the when do you think they're gonna realize I'm here? Triggered. I need a channel name. I'm not crazy. I know Almost Park, Texas. Renee Vale should hang. So this is a big deal. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squad cars here, and they're blocking them in. And it looks like the people are still in the car. It doesn't look like they're not rolling down the windows for them. Oh, look at that! These guys are taking a stand. They're not rolling down the windows. That's what it is. Do you see? They got their windows up. You see how he's just peering in the window? They're not rolling down the windows, I think. Oh, maybe he is. The other window's rolled down. I'm sorry. The other window is rolled down. And then there's a white shirt on the scene now. Here you go, guys, live right in front of the courthouse. We're right in front of the criminal courts building in Chicago, 26 in California, Hotel California. If you can see the sign down there, it says Cook County Cermak Health Services. That's the hospital for Cook County Jail. That's the hospital inside Cook County Jail. So they got a female, even though they got male officers, they got a female searching the male suspect. Just put her hands in between his thighs and up his thighs. The guy's yelling about his background. He's seen like a gun charge in his background. That's why they put him out the car. So it looks like a traffic stop, and let them back in the car because DPN is get him in the car and get him out of here. Hit that like button, smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button, hit that like button. What he's saying is that you ran my background. You saw that gun case. You ran my background. That's why all this is happening. So I see he got a gun case in his background. These are more Cook County. These are Chicago police who actually have authority or jurisdiction on streets. It is the Cook County sheriffs who have jurisdiction inside this building and outside of the jail. So you'll see the Cook County sheriffs circling. Well, Cook County sheriffs have jurisdiction anywhere in Cook County, but regular law as far as tickets and all that is given out by the Burge Police. We're waiting here. James is going to come out. James is going to come out any minute. But I want to know why a female officer patted them out into. Sarge, is it general protocol? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Sarge? Is it protocol for a female to pat down a male suspect when you got 7 males around there? Is that protocol? You had 5, 7, 10 male officers. You had the female officer going in between his legs and up his thigh, the inside of his thigh. That seems weird to me. Well, whatever. No, let's watch this. She's gonna get out California. We're on California Ave. We're in California now. This officer just gonna pull out right in traffic. There. Just cut off the bus. The bus wasn't stopping. This is Chicago. Now this guy's gonna hit the U-turn. Let's see if he can get me on. I'm on the sidewalk here. He don't know what he's gonna do. There we go. He got 2 tickets. All that for 2 tickets. A brake light and a no insurance. But you know they would have hemmed them up and put them in jail if the camera wasn't out there. But didn't that not seem weird to anybody else? Now I'm looking at the comments now. Did it not seem weird that there was all those male officers and the female officer did the frisk and put her hands up his thighs and inside of his thighs? Why would she? That doesn't seem right, right? So if let's say it was the other way around, it was a female and a male officer, it was a female suspect and a male officer. Like, it just seems like it was, I'm not saying it's not for nothing, but it just seems like you have every reason why a male officer would do it. You got 10 male officers standing around you. There's only 2 female officers. Why would the female officer pat him down? Did that make sense to you guys? Did you guys see that? Or is that just me? What happened? Where's he at? Did he leave?
He's still in the building.
Did you see me get into it with the dude?
No, what happened?
I went there with my camera and I talked to the superintendent. Do you want me to be on camera? No.
I don't care.
You're live right now.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
That's Melissa. That's my friend Melissa.
Hello.
I requested a female. So so I went in there because I had talked to, remember when we went in there the other day and we asked him,
Yeah.
and he was really cool about it and he gave me his card. So I went in there today and he says, there's so much going on, I'm sorry, I can't do it for you. So, but he was really, really cool. So I didn't, I just stood right in there. And I'm like, the guy came up to me, you can't be video recording here. I'm like, I'm right here. I'm not.
You're not in the building.
Yeah, I'm not in the past. I'm in the. He goes, no, you cannot do it. Whatever. This is Esther. If you remember Esther was on my channel. Esther has 2 sons. Okay, do you want to say it or that's why I don't want to bring it up. So I don't know.
Okay, I can.
It's because I don't know. I don't know about. That's. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you want me to do it on the fly, do you or not?
It's fine. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about you. Okay. Okay, Esther. Esther was on my channel. This is her and her husband. What was your name? Charlie. And you have 2 sons in jail. They're sentenced to 210 years.
100 and 110.
And what's the case looking like right now? They were under Detective Guevara. Google
Yes.
Detective Guevara in 5th Area 5, 25th District.
Right.
Google that name.
Juan and Rosendo Hernandez, they've been in prison for 23 years.
Uh-huh.
But thank God our case is back into the courts, and now we have the judge actually just granted a hearing.
Evidentiary hearing.
Evidentiary
An evidentiary hearing.
Yeah.
So we come back
For both of them?
Yes.
Okay, so were their cases split or were they together?
At first they were split. Now they're together.
Okay, so that's good. So that's
Yeah.
good. And then you guys come and kind of support each other. All the
Yes.
other
All the
people
other
that
cases.
bogus detectives and people that were wrongfully
Pray
convicted.
about
Especially Area 5.
Yeah, Area 5 is a bad. That's the 25th district.
It's not just Guevara or Burge. We support
I
all
want
of them.
to elaborate on 5th District because I have a brother who's been wrongfully convicted.
What's your brother's name?
Alexander Villa. There's also a website, justiceforalex.info, so everyone check it out.
Go to justiceforalex.info. Alexander Villa, Villa.
My brother was just wrongfully convicted last year for murder he did not commit. And just kind of elaborating a little bit about Area 5. It's Grand and Central area in Chicago, and these are the same officers that with prosecutors to get a wrongful conviction.
Yeah.
So there's a connection.
There's
here.
a long history of malicious prosecution, using confidential informants, just dirty practices.
Yes.
So that's definitely a history of Area 5. It's known as they're doing a documentary. You know, the lady had like a $20,000 camera. So Alex was at that same area in that same district 25.
District 25. Yes.
It's not called. They broke down the areas. So I wish you guys the best. God bless you. I mean, for both of you. I mean,
So do you know we have a
we got 300 people watching all around the world. There's people in Scotland. There's people in Hollywood. What did you say? I'm sorry, Esther.
We have a committee. It's called Innocent Demand Justice.
Innocents Demand Justice.
They could look us up. Yeah.
Google. It's a Facebook. Google what?
Right.
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram. So we're there.
Okay. And
Okay.
thank you, Esther.
You're welcome. Thank
Good
you.
luck. And Melissa, what was yours?
Justiceforalex.info.
What was it?
Justice for Alex. So
Justice for
justice and the number 4, justiceforalex.info.
Yeah. And
Check out the website. All of the trial information's on that website. We'll really appreciate that if everyone can check it out.
yeah. And we're going to the moderators put that up on the screen. I seen you. I appreciate you right there. You're going to be a moderator now. Making you a moderator, your friendly neighborhood dealer. Yeah, you're a moderator now just for that. There's 300 people around the country watching right now. I don't want to put James on camera because this is the man of the hour right here, Mr. James Gibson. So James, what were you in there doing today? What was that legal proceeding about?
Today, legal proceeding was about me getting my certificate of innocence.
Your certificate of innocence. How much time did you spend in prison?
29 years, 4 months, and 7 days.
How many hours? How many minutes? How many seconds? James knows it to the T. And James, I mean, it was a heart-wrenching. I was on the bed. The judge was going this way. The judge was going that way. I was on the edge of my seat, and it was almost like a movie. And when he made that announcement, I started clapping. I jumped out of my seat. Well, I can imagine for you that was an emotional roller coaster. Because did you get a feeling of what he was going to say? I thought it was going to be a lot more straightforward and
Well, I
easier.
was already given a head up, but when he really said it, I was given a head up from the states because they called me and told me that they weren't going to challenge it.
Yeah, but it would seem like there was the judge now that was kind of having
Right,
like,
it seemed like
the judge wasn't. The state themselves were not trying to press the issue. They said they're backing off. They're not gonna. They're gonna concede the fact of the not trying to press the certificate of innocence. But it looked like the judge wanted you to convince him how you did not commit a crime 30 years ago. I don't know what I did last Wednesday. How are you gonna prove that you didn't do something 30 years ago?
And see, that was the whole key right there.
How do you prove something you
that
didn't
do?
You can't prove negative. It's impossible to
I
prove a
want to
negative.
say to the public, I am so proud to be an American citizen. You know, for 30 years I stood by a cell door and they couldn't break me. You know, they offered me 5 deals and I wouldn't take it. The night before they dropped the charges, they told me to give up my certificate of innocence and I wouldn't give it up.
Listen,
but today, they granted me my certificate.
The day he was in there 29 years, the day before he got out, he got a call in prison from who? The state's attorney?
From the state's attorney.
And they tried to make a deal before that to try and give up.
That was the 5th deal.
If you bypass that certificate of innocence, we'll do this
We'll
X, Y, and Z
drop
for
the
you.
charges.
Oh my God, dude. So now. You got to tell me, a lot of you guys would have folded, bundled, and buckled underneath that pressure. He stood by that cell door and he did not fold, he did not bend, he did not break. James, congratulations. James Gibson, whose case is state law, the People versus James Gibson, is the first person in the appellate court to prove torture by a law enforcement agency. In Terry versus Ohio, it sets precedent for the 4th Amendment to the Constitution. James Gibson set precedent for torture by a law enforcement agency. First person in the nation, James Gibson.
First case in the nation since the abolishment of slavery, 300 years. Collaborated proof.
My man.
Nice side.
James, I'm so happy.
Yes, no more corruption in our city.
No more corruption in the city.
I know.
Yes.
All right, James.
Thank
So
you.
what are your plans now?
My plans now, man, is take my beautiful girl, you know what I'm saying? We finna go out and, celebrate a little bit, you know what I'm saying? We finna go back, man, and pick up our baby, you know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna do a family thing.
God bless you, man. You deserve it. After 29 years, James, you deserve it. I'll talk to you. I'll call you. Call me or text me tomorrow. Man, my name's Joey. Brandy, nice to meet you.
All right,
Brandy,
all right.
James.
Thanks for coming to the court, man. Give me a hug.
Come on, give me a hug, man.
I do a lot of hugs.
Me too. Me too.
All right.
You don't have a card at all?
I don't have a business card. Thank you, Brandy. No, sweetie. I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do we have on?
No, ma'am, I don't have a card, but if you go to Disorderly Product News,
She's got it. She's going to
she'll text it to you.
I'm a
Yeah.
volunteer chaplain for 23
You're a volunteer chaplain?
23 years.
Okay.
That's how come I know.
And you're part of the group, right?
Yeah.
You know, man, keep the
So
word
there you
out,
guys go.
and So when he go back and forth.
That's Mark right there. He's in charge of the Inglewood Torture Center. They built a torture center in Inglewood on the south side of Chicago. He's in charge of it. He was convicted of 4 homicides and an arson when he was 16 years old. Mark, stay up, buddy.
Okay, always, man.
My man Mark.
Always.
That's Mark. He's in charge of the Inglewood Torture Center. How can they get in touch with you if they want to call or talk to or learn about that program,
Well,
donate
they
to
can
that program?
contact, me at 773-587-4687. My name is Mark. As the brother described, I work for the Chicago Torture Justice Center. We support and rally around cases where that men and women have been tortured by crooked cops in the city of Chicago, primarily under John Burge.
Yeah, and so I was there and I talked to him. I have an interview with him. I had an interview with James. That'll be coming out. I just got to put it together and make sure. I mean, it might be the most important story I ever do, so I have to make sure I have all my ducks in a row and I explain it correctly, right? So
Yes.
you're doing a great thing, my man.
And thank you.
I'm gonna keep in contact with you. Remember, anytime I'll go there and I'll volunteer, and I'll teach people how to use phones in a defensive manner, not obviously, not to be. Sorry, I apologize. Not to be like obviously antagonistic, right? But to defend themselves, if
Right,
because the camera has leveled the playing fields, right?
Right.
It was a camera back in 1992 in California, a 4-pound camera with the VHS tape that had to be plugged in for 4 hours to give you 10 minutes of airtime. That was by that window that saw Rodney King and put the whole set the city in flames. So I mean,
Not been for that.
technology has.
Probably would have ended up in jail.
Yeah, he would have ended up in jail and with broken ribs and So that it was that I think it was the catapult to helping the people because the people in the hood always knew what happened, right? But it wasn't until it went national news that it started moving the Richter scale, right? It started moving the needle. So Mark, I appreciate you, my man. You call me, talk to me anytime. Don't think that's not a good promise. I'm good. I'll volunteer my time, whatever I need to do. Support you whenever you guys got something coming up.
His car's over there.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go because I got to talk to these people because I'm leaving here.
Yeah, I gotta get my phone from your car.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm signing off.
Torture is a crime. Torture is a crime.
Corruption's
Torture is a
real.
crime. Torture is a crime, people.
You heard that. 300 people around the world watching live right now. All right, guys. All right, I'll take care. Call me anytime. Don't think that's not a promise. That's a promise. What's up, man? All right, I gotta go, guys.